Welcome to PowerTalk, a podcast designed for technology, trends, and insights. Welcome to the podcast on intelligent UI. Today, we will be talking about the future of user interfaces. Our guest today is Rushikesh Bhosale, UX manager at Calsoft. With 13 years of experience, Rushikesh blends creativity, strategy, and technical depth to solve complex UX challenges across AI, cloud, storage, networking, and virtualization. He's been at the forefront of designing interface that truly connects people with technology. Today, he'll be sharing his insights on future of intelligent UI and user experiences. So welcome back, Rushikesh. We have covered the rise of intelligent UI. We have also covered the building blocks of intelligent UI. And this is the final episode of the series where we are talking about the future of the user interfaces.
Yeah.
As per you, in next 3 to 5 years, what is gonna change with in intelligent UI, or how intelligent UI is gonna be?
Okay. If you look at the current UIs, right, they're very static, right? And that's where I think in the next 3 to 5 years, I see these static UIs going into living systems, right? Where you want to make sure as a user that you don't have to do much of the job in terms of, doing any task on a particular, dashboards or something like that. But you just ask it something, it'll list out the steps, and then kind of create a possible scenario for you, and then kind of implement it, right? And that's where these living systems will see as UIs, and you just have to have a conversation with them or interact with them. And that also very minimal, that you don't have to invest a lot. You just know that okay, this is what you have to do, and then it'll kind of figure out a path and do it for you.
Can you talk about the role of agentic AI and the multimodal interfaces like voice, text, and vision?
That's where I think, as I said previously, right, it'll basically understand everything and list out the step. The agentic AI are the ones that are going to do that, right? So it'll basically figure out everything, list out the steps, and do it for you. And in terms of conversations as well, whether it's voice, speech, right? You just have to ask it, or interact with it, and it'll probably answer you all the things that you want to solve in a particular, let's say, given scenario of an enterprise solution.
We did talk about industry adoption in one of our previous episodes. What do you think, how intelligent UI is going to transform these industry?
I think it's gonna work miraculously, I would say, right? As I said about healthcare, doctors are gonna leverage it while operating on patients, right? Detecting anomalies on a given scans, right? For e-commerce, in inventory, then making sure that the deliveries are on time and all those things, right? That is where we see a good impact on that. In terms of our more core services of Calsoft, cloud, network, virtualization, it's all about making sure that okay, you are building scalable solutions, and then it can basically work for all the not only for the technical admins that you're trying to do, but it can work for a million users as well, right? And it's all about making sure that okay, you're building a scalable solution for that. Yeah.
I'm very interested to understand, are there any KPIs that we can use, or the business leaders can use to measure the success of these intelligent UIs?
Sure, yeah. One is scalable, right? You don't want an intelligent UI only trained on a particular subset, right? So you have to make sure that you are giving it a large model of data that it can actually work with, and then provide you the right context. And that's where I think companies like Google's are already leveraging it, right, through their data sets. The second would be making sure that okay, you are just not building it for the sake of it, right? You're actually solving the right problem for the right users. And these intelligent UIs are going to be like a partner for the customers, right? A smart partner, I would say, not just any partner. So you want to make sure that they perform on their best ability, and you have different models that user can choose from, right? Like let's say for Gemini or for ChatGPT, there are different models. There's Claude, right? So all these things you want to make sure that these KPIs, these acts as KPIs to make sure that customers are using them in the right way, and then you also, as an enterprise, you are solving the right problem as well.
So, if somebody has to start their UI implementation, intelligent UI implementation rather, journey, so what are the practical steps they need to take?
In terms of making sure that you start with it, as I said earlier as well, right? You have to see what is your data flow, where it is coming from, right? So that data layer is important. You have to make sure that the AI ML layer that we talked about, right? It's trained on the subset of data that it can actually, leverage in making sure that the answers that it will fetch for in the intelligent AI or UI, it gives the right approach towards it. And then what are the microservices that you're using for the UI to basically make those calls to APIs, and then provide the right answers to the user in the intelligent AI. And then your overall UI itself has to be user friendly, right? It cannot be just a chatbot with some sort of text, right? If it's possible for us to do some visualizations or give the right formats, right? That is very important. I've seen cases where people have built smart intelligent UIs, but then Google Drive has given us a habit of seeing a PDF, right? And what's the content in it, right? Earlier, right? But then these some intelligent AIs are not doing it, and it's not very hard, right? So these are some of the cases that users or your customers would think that, okay, why is this not working here, but it works on other systems, right? So you have to understand the current behavior that your customers are accustomed to, then kind of implement it in your intelligent AI as well. And that Google Drive is just another example. There are loads more.
All right. So, Rushikesh, thank you for sharing these information. I'm sure our audience may find it insightful. I have some audience questions.
Okay.
So, the first question is, what's the risk of over resilience on AI in user interfaces?
I think you have to think it from a generalized perspective, that if you over rely on anything, right, you get into that complacency mode, right? And that's where I think as a company or as an enterprise solution, you don't have to do that, right? Because of course AI would solve, let's say, 90 to 99 95% of use cases, but you have to also make sure that there would be some use cases that AI may not solve, or there would be certain use cases that may arise later as users are trying to interact with these intelligent AIs. So that's where I think you have to not get complacent and kind of improve overall every time as you are trying to build these intelligent UIs.
Rightly said. Next question, how will regular frameworks affect intelligent UI design?
I think it won't affect as much because these intelligent UIs are already, well aware of, let's say, from a front end perspective, whatever, React, Angular, or whatever the languages are, they are pretty much aware of it. They kind of can come up with dashboards and visuals that kind of really, fascinates us sometimes. But it's not going to solve, the larger problem that you have, right? But you can use them for solving your minor problems, right? Let's say you're building an app and you want to do some brainstorming, so you can use these intelligent UIs to come up with a wireframe which kind of solves at least the use case that you have, and then you can move into the further sections of UI development and backend development, I would say.
The last question, what skills will designers and developers need to stay relevant?
I think it's all about, right now, from designer perspective, we are pretty much aware of all the aspects of, let's say, experience design, customer experience design, user-centered design, right? These are the nomenclatures that we use in most of our conversations, right? But now you have to also back it up with data, right? It's not just about some design that is going to work, right? these are the metrics that you're using, and based on those metrics and data, you have come up with this particular design. And for that, you have also leveraged intelligent UI to do it, because then you are being productive out of it, right? So that's where I think that overall partnership has to happen with designers, I would say.
So that was it, Rushikesh. Thank you for joining and thank you for sharing your knowledge with everybody. With this, we wrap our series on intelligent UI. If you have missed any information, you can find the details in the descriptions or write us at marketing@calsoftinc.com. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.